Time for the 2016 NBA Draft breakdown of Domontas Sabonis. Sabonis is the son of the great Arvydas Sabonis. He played at Gonzaga for 2 seasons. He's really productive. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 61% shooting. Limited threes, though, just 5 for 14 shooting threes. And he's really just a power forward. 6'10", 238, and a limited wingspan at 6'10 and a half. So let's get a summary of who Sabonis is. Here he is putting the ball on the floor, passing it out, resetting in the post. It's working Pirtle, who's likely to be a pick ahead of him in the draft. Here again, working the outside. You did not see this a lot, but he was able to take Pirtle out on the floor a little bit. Ball faking, working in the post. He always wants to get back to his left, but this time he stepped through to his right nicely. You can see the great footwork that he has. He's fundamental, good solid outlet pass right there. Here, look at him run. He's on the outside left. He's just going to run the floor. His motor is endless. That's what he does. Here's another example of just outrunning people. Not a super athlete, not huge strides, not lightning fast, just energy. And then he just abuses Marquise Chris down low, drawing the fouls he did in most of this early season game. Here he is down low, grabbing the rebound. You see it takes him a moment to get back up, so not a superior athlete. Had to coil a bit. Defensively here on Pirtle, holding his ground. They double. This might be the best defensive play I saw him make. He comes over from the other side, and that's about the only time I saw a lot of rim protection. Mentioned the shooting. Didn't shoot a lot of threes. On spot-ups, he was 21 of 36, according to Synergy, so that's 58%. Catch and shoot, 49%, and from 17 feet to 3-foot range, he was 15 of 25. Those numbers all lead you to believe this guy's going to be able to shoot a little bit. Here's a funny push shot in the lane. If he turns out to be able to hit this and the NBA 3, he really becomes a pretty unique player in his ability to step outside. Now, in the collegiate game, he played in the post. He's got great footwork. He catches the ball well. He works it. He's under control. But again, not a superior athlete. Not going up and packing. There's not a big, quick jump, and there's not a long reach. It's body, it's angles, it's feet, it's posting. And then the question to the NBA is, how often will you ever see him post? He's not in the NBA, we just don't post up. There's an offensive foul. He's not catching that and going over you. He's catching and getting position on you and then working it inside. He was just stronger than Chris there. Again, here he is in the post. He wants to get to the left hand, and he does it well. Pick and roll, they did not run a lot of him in the pick and roll at Gonzaga. There's not a lot of samples to it. Here he just catches inside, but not the best athlete, but able to spin back to the left hand for a rare miss, got bumped. Pick and roll slides as the smaller man catches, but unable to go up and over. So I'm not sure how he's going to work as a roll man, and the question is whether he's got a good enough shot as a pop guy. His father was one of the great passers the game has ever seen as a big. Sabonis is solid when I watch him. He gets out of these double teams. He was doubled a lot. That's a nice pass right there. He's not doing anything incredible. He's solid. Pick and roll, gets himself in a position. Nice read and touch pass back out. Comfortable moving the basketball, almost 2 assists a game. Here he makes the right pass. He waits the right amount of time. He actually passed off the bounce, which is a big deal because you don't see a lot of that. Switch it to rebounding. He really owns his own space. So in most part, this is all positive. And he grabbed 12 a game. Again, he can't get back up inside that traffic. So he's not going to get the rebound and then jam foul. And if you notice, he's not up on the rim very often. He's down below. And that's the only concern as you watch the later end, as you do right there. When there's an elite athlete around him, all of a sudden it's hard for him to collect it. And in the NBA, I'm not sure whether he has that same room. Now, his motor, his positioning, and the fact that he owns his own space will really help him as you see him grab these. Now, this is the concern. Here he is with other athletes who reach up above him, and he's not able to go up. Here it is again, not able to control. And a third time, these were all third game of the year against Washington. Guys are going up around him, and they're just quicker jumpers, faster getting up. It makes you wonder whether that translates in the NBA or not. His post defense, again, we're talking about the same guy, right? So it's solid. Here he's fronting Pirtle. They're able to get over the top because he doesn't have that bounce. Here he holds Pirtle off, works him. Pirtle misses, does a nice job, collects the rebound. Inside, you see he's not a rim protector. What is he? He's a vertical player with a small wingspan. He's not going to rim protect you. Here he's got Pirtle in the post. This is a nice defensive set. He's bumping back and holds him off, forces him off his angle. This time Pirtle, after missing the last time, says, wait a second, I'm going to drop step baseline on you and draw the foul. This is the biggest question mark to his defense in the NBA. Pick and roll, out on space. Here he's a drop big. And that's fine, but he's not Rudy Gobert. He's not Andrew Bogut. He's not a drop big who's going to be able to protect the rim. So what happens against NBA athletes? Usually he's in pretty good position. This time he got caught up in the air. He's usually holding his ground well, cutting off their driving lane, forcing college players into misses. In the NBA, I'm not sure whether this is as successful. As you see, they dropped him. He never hedged. He never switched very often. In the NBA, you're often going to need your 4 to switch 1 through 4. I'm not sure whether he can do that. You're going to need him to hedge some here. He rolls nicely, cuts off the lane, and then alters the shot. That's some of the best rim protection I saw out of him. And so the final question is, what happens when he has to D in space? Here he is, forcing the dribble right, does a nice job cutting it off, and forces a travel. Back up top again, slow to get out of the shooter. Holds ground underneath. And this is a loose ball, 50-50 ball. I just like that. That's owning his space. I like guys who get 50-50 balls. That's Domontas Sabonis. You've seen it. Now you can evaluate what you think of him. Thanks. You can follow me on Twitter at LockedOnSports, on Facebook at LockedOnSports as well.